channel U23B build. My name is Mike Ostertag, and in this video we're going to go over my soldering iron real quickly, as well as some new tips that I just bought for it, and then we're going to get right into soldering together the gear, or not the gear tower, but the truck towers that we sub-assembled in the previous video. So I hope you guys can learn a little something. Just a little side note, I am by far no good at soldering, so I'm learning this just as much as you guys are. So anybody that has comments, tips, or techniques that would maybe help some point down the line, that would be awesome. I'm always open to learning new stuff. So sit back and we'll talk to you here towards the end. Thanks. This is the soldering iron that I have. It's a Haku FX888D. It's pretty cool. It's adjustable temperatures to it. It has a nice ergonomic soldering iron to it, as well as a holder for a soldering iron with a water tray with a sponge and a Brillo pad for cleaning the tips. Awesome, awesome soldering iron. These are some replacement solder tips that I've gotten for my soldering iron. And as you can see, there's quite a few in here. There's everything from really fine to pretty broad. So take a look at Amazon and check those out. All right, let's get to it. I'm going to start out by putting some flux on the part. We have it set up in our helping hands. And this is just some Radio Shack rosin soldering flux. I'm using a micro brush to apply it, and I know I'm probably putting way more than I need to on there, but like I said, I'm not very good at this. Okay, now I'm going to apply some solder. Just going to take the soldering iron and heat the corner here a little bit, and then put just a little bit of solder on the tip while it's still heating. You see all that flux starting to run, and I'm just going to pull that solder right down. And as I'm pulling it down, that flux is helping to make a little capillary action. You can kind of see it getting tucked underneath that seam. As you can see, it might not be the prettiest solder job, but it's functional for sure. Okay, I'm going to apply some flux to the bottom here. We got our piece turned around. Going to do the top. Just like before, I'm going to take my soldering iron, add a little bit of solder to it. And this, I didn't let this one get heated up enough, so it didn't have a lot of flow to it. The solder didn't flow very well. So here I'm trying to scrape it back and forth, and I realized that's not the right way of doing it. So what I did is I adjusted the angle of the soldering iron to allow for me to get that solder in and out of where I needed it to be. And I went and I just picked up the solder where I wanted it, or where it was, and I drew it over, and the flux allowed it to go where it needed to go, as you can see. Like I said, it looks sloppy, but the good part is nobody's ever going to see these parts. They're going to be internal on the unit. Okay, we want to always try to learn from our mistakes. So on the opposite side, I'm going to take a little bit different approach to it. I'm going to add the flux like we always do. And like I said, I was a little too quick with the solder on the other one. So I'm going to try to take my time with it this time. And here we go. I'm going to apply some heat. You can see the flux getting pretty liquid. I added some solder. Now that's okay. That'll all draw out. And it'll draw back towards the solder joint that I want to make. And as you can see, that flux is helping that flow right into every little nook and cranny that I want it to go in. And there you have it. There's the finished solder joint. Now, again, learning from our mistakes, I'm going to put a little less flux on here this time. And we're going to go and put the solder this top screw cap, is what it's called. Now we're going to put the soldering iron here and create some heat, get that the flux nice and liquid, put a little bit of solder on there on the tip and start rubbing it back and forth and getting that thing in all the little nooks and crannies. And as you can see, it's flowing into where those tabs are. That'll help secure that top portion also of the angle brace. So that'll help make it even more strong than before. And here you can see the finished product. It's pretty sloppy in a lot of spots. You know, like I said, I'm not a pro at this, but this is a part that is not going to be seen. So if it's a little sloppy and at least it's strong, stable, and functional, then that's actually really what's important. There you have it, folks. The Farland Terminals Milwaukee Road U23B project is off and running. These gear towers are not going to be seen, so you know, they're pretty sloppy with the soldering, and I know I'm going to need to get better at it. But you know what? That's what we do in this hobby. We always try to learn as much as we can from anybody else. So if anybody's got some tips and techniques, feel free to post those. I look forward to seeing your comments. I really appreciate all you guys watching. And the next video is going to be on the frame rails. We're going to start. I've already got these bent, and all the frame parts are bent, and I'm in the process of shooting the video for them. So we're going to start getting the frame put together, and once that gets put together, this locomotive is really going to start taking shape and starting to look like something. We're only a couple of videos away from having a fuel tank put on and bending that, which I'm actually really excited about, because then you actually are starting to give a little bit of life to the locomotive. So until the next time, keep them on the shiny side. Thanks for watching.